All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these shapes that we see here, and we are going to place the letter of the shapes in the spot that we think they should go in. Okay, so we have trapezoids, parallelograms, rectangles, squares, and rhombuses. Okay, so take a look at those shapes. Let's first look and see which shapes are trapezoids. Okay, so Kaya, what is a trapezoid?
A trapezoid is only one pair of parallel sides.
All right, so everybody raising your digital hand, which of those letters, which of those shapes do you think are trapezoids? Israel, give me one.
R.
R. I would agree with that. Anthony, give me another one.
U.
U. Yes. Okay. Rita, give me another one.
O.
O. Yes. I think there's probably one more. Roger, give me one. What's another trapezoid up there? All right. Making notes of who's getting points today. Jada, there's one more trapezoid. Which one is it?
Q.
I would not say. Oh, wait. Yes, you're right. So there's actually two more then. Okay, I'm going to mark these off. R, U, O. And she just said Q. That's correct. So there is one more. Okay, Isaac, can you tell me what the other one is?
Which letter is it?
No?
Let me say it again. Parallelogram.
Do you need to phone a friend?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, look at all the people that have their hands raised and pick one.
Brandon?
Brandon? All right, Brandon, what's the other one?
V.
I don't see a Z.
No, V.
We got you already.
Okay.
You said what? V? No, V would not be a trapezoid. Okay, I think the last trapezoid is S, guys. S, look at this. So the top and the bottom are parallel, and these two sides are not. Okay? Now, I do want to go back to our tree diagram that we've been talking about. Okay? Remember that we said if it's a parallelogram, it's not a trapezoid. And if it's a trapezoid, it's not a parallelogram, right? Okay, so the reason I said that is because then, while I'm doing this, if it's a trapezoid, it can't be any of these other things, correct? So I'm going to cross all of these off because we don't want to choose them anymore, because if it's a trapezoid, it's none of those other shapes. Okay? So now let's look for parallelograms. Okay? Let's see. David, what is the definition of a parallelogram? We can't hear you.
A parallelogram is a never mind.
Okay, Israel, help him out. What's a parallelogram?
both pairs of the opposite sides are parallel and equal in length.
Okay, very good. All right, so think about that, about the tree map that I just showed you. If it's not a trapezoid, it's a parallelogram. So all of those that I crossed off are trapezoids. So what does that say about the ones that are left? They're all parallelograms, right? Okay, so let's see. G. Why does it keep doing that? G, L, M, N, and V are all parallelograms. Okay? Now, I'm not going to cross those off because they could also be these shapes, right? Okay, so now let's look for rectangles. Elijah, what's the definition of a rectangle?
Right. A parallelogram with 4 right angles.
A parallelogram with 4 right angles. Okay, so does G fit that definition, everybody? Yes or no? Hearing lots of yeses in my room. Okay. What about M? Yes or no? Okay, Jada says no because there's no right angles. What about L?
No.
No.
But then again, there are no right angles.
Exactly. What about N?
No, there are no right angles.
Very good. And what about V?
No, there's actually no right angles.
Okay, absolutely correct. Good. Okay. So now let's think about a square. Okay. Jada, what's the definition of a square?
The definition of a square is a rectangle with all sides the same length.
Okay, so now let's look at this. We said there's only one rectangle, right? So G is the only rectangle. So that's the only one I can look at. Does that have all 4 sides the same? Yes or no?
No.
No. So there's actually nothing to put here for squares. Okay. All right, and let's look for the definition of a rhombus. Isaac, what's the definition of a rhombus?
A parallelogram with all sides the same length.
Okay, so we said G, L, M, and V, all of those are parallelograms. Okay, so that means we're looking to see if they have the same, all 4 sides have to be the same. Okay, so what about G? Are all 4 sides the same? Yes or no? You just told me it didn't, right? So that's a no. What about L right here? Are all 4 sides the same length? Yes or no?
No.
No. What about M? I would say no. What about N? That one's kind of tricky. I think maybe they are all the same. They're kind of close. That would be one I might have to like measure, but I'm going to say yes on that one. Okay. What about V? Yes. Okay. All right. So what you just did there was you used your definitions to classify the quadrilaterals into its correct word or names. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do, let me get to the paper. We're not going to do all of these. We're just going to do a few of them. Okay. These are statements that we're going to tell whether they're true or false. We must use the definitions to prove whether it's true or false. Okay? So the first one, all rectangles are squares. What do you think about that statement? All rectangles are squares. Raising your hand. Okay, Anthony, what do you think? Is that true or false?
I think.
Okay, so let me start over. Everybody put your digital hands down. Because I think some of you were up there from before. Okay, Israel, put it down. Now, we're looking at statement number 1. All rectangles are squares. Do you think that that's true or false? Raising your digital hand. Okay, Elijah, what do you think? Is that true or false?
I think false because the square has to be.
Because what? Honey, get closer to your computer so everybody can hear.
I think false.
Because why?
Because wait, no, I think true because a square has to be a rectangle, so therefore all rectangles are squares.
Okay, so look at your definitions. What's the definition of a rectangle? Okay, what's the definition of a square?
A rectangle with all sides the same length.
Okay, so I'm going to say that this is a false statement. Okay, not all rectangles are squares. Look here, if I draw this shape, is that a rectangle? Yes. Is it a square? Look at the shape. Is this a rectangle? Yes. But is it a square?
No.
No. Okay, so just by me drawing this shape proves that this is a false statement. Okay, if you can find one shape that doesn't fit the statement, it's false. Okay? So let's look at this one. Every rhombus is a parallelogram. Every rhombus is a parallelogram. Okay, Jada, what do you think about that?
I think it's true.
Why?
Because like a rhombus is like that, and then like that, and then they're like tilted,
Okay.
and they keep going on. And I don't really think there's another way you can draw it.
Okay, so what's the definition of a rhombus?
A parallelogram with all sides the same.
Oh my goodness, it says it right there, doesn't it? It literally says it's a parallelogram. So if it's not a parallelogram, it can't be a rhombus, can it? Okay, so the definition proves to us that this is a true statement. Okay, so let's look at this one. Parallelograms are special rectangles. Parallelograms are special rectangles. That's an interesting one. Anthony, what do you think?
I think false.
You think false? Why do you think false?
Because there's other shapes other than rectangles.
Absolutely. There are other parallelograms that are not rectangles, aren't there? Okay, there's a lot of parallelograms that are not rectangles. This statement is saying every parallelogram is a rectangle, and that's not true. Okay, what about this one? A trapezoid can be a square. A trapezoid can be a square. Okay, Rita, what do you think?
False.
False? Why do you think that's false?
Because a square has to have all sides equal, and a trapezoid only has two sides that are equal.
Okay, very good. Well, and their sides don't have to be equal, they just have to be parallel. But you're right. Okay. All right, so this is what I want you to do. On your paper, I want you to, you know what? We're not even going to do that. We're going to do a whiteboard. Have you guys been doing whiteboards with Miss Stroba? Yes or no? No? Okay, so. All right, well, my Do the Math kids have been doing a lot of them. All right, so here's what's going to happen. Let me double check and see. That's 7 through 12. Okay, so I'm writing this on my paper now. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, I'm going to invite you to go to this whiteboard. So just give me a second. Okay. Well, because you're in for Do the Math, that's why. All right, so let me come over here. In the chat, I'm putting the whiteboard. So all you have to do is click on it. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to, whoops, where am I at? Right here. You're going to do number 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the whiteboard. All you have to do is tell me whether it's true or false. Okay?
Miss Higby,
Yes.
It's telling me for my password.
You shouldn't have to have a password. There's no
Like,
reason.
put in a code. Like,
okay. You shouldn't need a code, guys. But let me put this in here again. You should just be able to click on this. If it's asking you for a code, you're not in the right place. And you need to click on what I just put in there. Okay, I can't hear you. Like, you're talking to me, but I got headphones on. So if you have a question, you gotta unmute.
It says just put in your name and then it lets you straight in.
Yes, just get in your name. Okay, I see Israel. I see Isaac, Elijah, Anthony, Brandon, Stephanie, Jada. I see Rita, David, and Kaya. Okay, Elijah and Anthony, do you have a question? Your hands are up. Just want to make sure. Okay, if you don't have a question, then put it down. Lyric, question?
I can't get in.
Okay, what's it saying?
Welcome, what would you like to
Okay,
do?
so the old pharmacy
Okay,
won't transfer over to.
I can't really hear you because your mom's in the background there, dear. So, just try to click on it again. Okay. I'm gonna give you guys 5 minutes to do 7 through 12 on the whiteboard.
I couldn't get in.
Okay. David, please mute yourself. Lyric, question?
I couldn't get in.
Okay, what is it saying?
It's saying, like, draw, share, collaborate. And then it has this drawing.
Go click on the second one that I put in the chat. Brandon, question?
it doesn't show the question next to the number.
Because I didn't write anything next to the numbers. You're just putting true or false. Israel, question?
So, on 8, it says every trapezoid is like quadrilateral, but it doesn't have an equal side or something.
You're right, it doesn't.
Because it's on the other side, so it's not with the.
Okay, but look at the
other
top of
one.
the tree map. What's on the top of the tree map? Aren't all the shapes we're talking about quadrilaterals?
No, like the words.
Okay, but
And the
aren't they all quadrilaterals though?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. But, like, it just doesn't look right to me.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to tell you the answer.
Miss Higby,
Yes.
how do I get to like where, like how do I get to
You have
the,
to click on. I put it in the chat.
I know I'm on the whiteboard chat, but I don't know like how to get to the page that you're sharing your screen.
You have to just look at my screen.
Okay.
And I realize number 11 and 12 are not true and false. So just do 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let me change that on my board. A minute and a half. Lyric, do you have another question, or is that from earlier?
On my side, it's probably just me, but your screen is frozen.
Oh, well.
Or you're just not, yeah, there it is. Okay.
Okay. I just hadn't changed it back yet. Sorry, guys. My blood sugar is getting kind of low. I'm kind of shaky, so I'm trying to get my blood sugar up. All right. Do we need one more minute? Okay, one more minute, and then we're moving on.
Wait, Miss Higby?
Yes?
Wait, did you erase 10?
I erased 11 and 12, David.
Oh.
10 seconds. All right, so now what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you the answers, and you are going to tell me why. Okay? So number 7 is false. Raising your hand, tell me why number 7 is false. Elijah, why is that false? Okay, I can't hear you, hun.
Because rhombuses don't have right angles.
Ah, so a rhombus. Now, isn't a square a rhombus? A square is a rhombus, right? Okay, this kind of goes back to our tree diagram. Okay, we're saying this statement says all rhombuses are rectangles, but when we look at our tree diagram, look here. Remember, it's a rectangle or a rhombus. Okay, so that one is false. All right, number 8 is true. What? Why is number 8 true? Jada, why is number 8 true?
Number 8 is true because, as you said earlier, even if you drew like what's it called, trapezoid,
Mm-hmm.
like sideways, it's still a trapezoid because the sides are just parallel from the top to the bottom,
Okay.
and it really doesn't matter about the sides.
Okay. Guys, what's a quadrilateral? Israel, what's a quadrilateral? Well, don't raise your hand if you don't know off the top of your head.
I do, but like I think it has four.
Yes, a four-sided polygon, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, isn't a trapezoid 4 sides?
Yep.
Okay, so that's true. Okay. This next one, rhombuses are special parallelograms, is true. Okay, so why is number 9 true? Ooh, raise your digital hand, not your actual hand. Elijah, why is that true?
It's true because rhombuses are both pairs of opposite sides are parallel and equal length.
Okay, so yes, so he's telling us the definition.
And also, it literally says a rhombus is parallel.
Exactly. So if we look at the definition for a rhombus, it says it's a parallelogram. Okay, so the definition literally says, hey, you, this is true. Okay, and then the last one, this is also true. Okay, why is that true? Raising your digital hand. Anthony, why is that true?
Because if you tilt a square, it could become a rhombus.
Oh, number 10? I think number 10 is true for the same reason number 8 is.
Because rectangles has 4 sides and quadrilaterals is a 4-sided polygon.
Absolutely. Okay. All right, so that you just did there is what you're now going to go and do on our quiz for today. It is a pretty short and easy quiz today. All right. Not edit. Ugh, I hate when I do that. Let me go back. Thursday. There we go. Preview is what I meant to hit. So you have 5 questions today, and it's literally true and false. Okay, so do what we just did. Look at your definitions. Draw shapes if you need to. Look at your tree diagram. Okay, to say whether these are true and false. Any questions? All right, let's go ahead and get started on that. I will stop.